Have you ever been sitting at a funeral hearing about somebody's life and it makes you start reflecting on your own? I had two colleagues pass away one time really close together, and I knew them both quite well professionally, but sitting at their funerals, I realized I didn't know them personally. It's so easy to set goals professionally and to think that that's really what matters. But at the end of the day, very, very rarely at somebody's funeral do you hear about their professional achievements. It's really about their relationships, the impact they made on other people's lives. And to know that we can create a life that we love. We don't have to wait for our eulogy. We can make advanced decisions now about how we want our life to play out so that when we get to the end of our lives, we're not wondering, did I really live? We've lived our best life. And the number one regret of people on their deathbed, research has shown, is not the things they did, it's the things they didn't do. Building out a life plan is exactly what's required so we don't get to the end of our life and wonder, did I really live? So, what is a life plan? This is not your will or your estate planning, although I highly recommend that you have those things in place. This is a moment in time where we're making a decision. I'm going to live this life. None of us knows how much time we have, but what we know is that we are going to live a life. And that life is either going to be lived one of two ways, by design or by default, where we're going to say to this life, here's what I want to create. Here's how I want to show up. Here's what's important to me. And we design that life very intentionally. In the absence of that, we will live this life by default, where we just go through the motions, where life happens to us. We're rolling with the punches. And what I have really come to understand is that when we live a life by design, we get to that end of the life and we're like, yes, that was a life well lived. So, how do you create a life plan? A life plan really starts with a bit of a self assessment. It's being honest with ourselves and taking the time for self reflection to really sit down and look at your life and say, hey, where am I at? What's working? What's not working? Most of us don't know to do that. We're just busy in our day to day lives and we don't know to sit down and do some reflection. That's self assessment where you're looking at all areas of your life. Hey, if I'm honest with myself, how am I doing in my health? If I keep going in this trajectory with my health, do I like where that's going to take me? What's happening in my relationships? Are they on autopilot? Is there some discord? Am I feeling lonely? If I'm really honest with myself, how am I showing up in my relationships? Am I happy with the current result? And am I happy with the trajectory of this? What about professionally? If you're really honest with yourself, are you doing work that you're passionate about? Have you stalled out? Are you dreading going to work in the mornings? Are you not growing anymore? If you're really honest with yourself, how are you doing professionally? And then what about your time and your money? If you take a look at your current results, how are you spending your time? Is it, oh, there's never enough time in the day? Is it one day maybe I'll get to go there, I'll get to do that? Maybe you're missing important events in your life. If you're really honest with yourself, looking at your whole life in this moment and checking in. And the reason we do that is to look for the feedback and to really get honest and to be able to say, hey, if I don't like the trajectory, I can change that. But if you don't start making some changes, life will keep repeating the same patterns. Doing that self assessment, doing that self reflection is a really important part of building the life plan. Then what you want to do is take that information. It is just information. And we take that and we start asking a very different question. And that is, what would I love my life to look like? What would I love in my health? What would I love for my vibrancy, my well-being? What would I love in relationships? What would you love to be doing in your career? If you could do anything you wanted, what would you be doing? Are there places you'd like to visit, causes that you'd like to donate more money or time to? If you could really design your life any way you wanted, and I'm going to give you a really important tip here, put the how on hold. So it's not what do I think I can do? It's if I could do anything, go anywhere, be anything I wanted to be, what would that life look like? And we start designing the life and you start painting pictures of what it is that you would want. Just like if you were building a house, you would start dreaming up that house and you would create a blueprint for that house. Start doing that for your life. I've worked with lots of clients where I ask them this question, and I often hear, nobody's ever asked me that before. Nobody's ever asked me what I would love. Allow that creative juice to flow. Unlock your imagination. And if you're really not sure, pay attention to those times in your life where maybe you were the most happy. What were you doing? When you're in a conversation about something and you just leave that so fired up or inspired, pay attention to those things. And as you're doing the life assessment, look at what you don't want and flip the script. If you don't want to feel lethargic anymore, how do you want to feel? Maybe you want to jump out of bed, you want to have vibrant energy all day. By knowing what you don't want, it'll help to inform what it is that you do want. I took a course in university. It was a life management course. One of the exercises that we had to do was to write our own eulogy. It was a very impactful exercise for me where you sat down and you wrote your own eulogy. What do you want people to say about you? What do you want them to say about how you made them feel, the impact you made? Write your own eulogy. Think about that as your life plan. When you get to the end of your life and it was a life well lived, what would you have loved to have done with that life? Mary Oliver says it this way: tell me, what will you do with this one precious life? It really is precious. And each one of us, we don't know how much time we have, but you can make a decision to live that by design. What would you love? I'm Stacey Berger, and here is to you living a life that you absolutely love.